G'day brewers, in this video we're going to design and create a non-alcoholic Belgian Witbier. A light, spritzy, refreshing citrusy treat. So if that sounds good to you, keep watching. So we're going to start our recipe design with the same base I used to create my non-alcoholic Goza, another Witbier, which was 800 grams of border malt and 500 grams of Gladfield wheat malt. So that will provide a base for our German Witbier. Let's go down and have a look at what else we put into this Witbier. Now, we're going to ditch the salt, so we'll delete that. We'll keep the same water chemistry, we'll keep the coriander, we'll keep the wort. Now I'm also going to add some other spices in here, so we'll come back to that. Let's talk about hops. What have we got here? Let's change this to Belgian. Let's change it to a Witbier. That's the one we want. Select that. The IBUs, we're really on the border of that, so we might push this up a little higher towards 12 IBUs, somewhere in the middle. So if we change this to 50 grams, that might get us, 13 IBUs. That puts us pretty much where we want to be. So that'll do with our hops. Again, another hop stand, that'll add a bit of grapefruit complexity to the finished beer, which will be quite welcome. Now I'm not going to use Philly Sour, I'm going to use T58 Fermentation Belgian Ale. So we're going to use that. That will give us a saison-y type esters, but again it's non-alcoholic, so we might not get much activity at all. But the advantage to this one is at least it doesn't ferment too fully. It only goes 78% attenuation, which is going to give us a little bit of residual sweetness and a little bit of more body than we might otherwise get with a yeast that attenuates more thoroughly. Alright, let's talk about what else we're going to put into this beer, because I mentioned spices. We've already got some coriander. Let's have a little look at a Witbier. This is the BJCP guidelines. It's got spices to accentuate character. Now let's have a little look in here. Let's go down to ingredients. Coriander seed, yep. Orange peel. So we're going to add some orange peel to our recipe, but we're going to do it via a tincture so that we can maximize the flavor that we're getting out of our orange peel. So I've made up a little tincture of orange and lemon peel, because that's another common flavor in these Witbiers, this perfumey, lemony character that you often get from the yeast. We're not going to get so much of that in a non-alcoholic version, so we're going to compensate with some tincture flavor to bump up that lemon, orangey complexity. You might also notice this idea or this mention of some vanilla sweetness, so we're going to add 5 mils of vanilla essence just to round out the sweetness and see if we can't imitate some of that classic Witbier vanilla character. Now we're also going to add something to increase the floral and I think even the body of this beer, and that is some chamomile. Put it in, chamomile tea. Now I measured, I'd normally make about 1 gram in a cup of chamomile tea. I'm going to add 20 grams to the whole batch, which hopefully will be enough to get plenty of character coming through, and I think that'll complement the character of this beer quite nicely. So 20 grams of chamomile tea in there. So we've got our tea, we're going to mash in at 80 degrees Celsius, which will maximize our dextrins, maximize the body, minimize the alcohol in the finished beer. And we'll ferment not that high. Oh, I'll probably actually go up even to 24 degrees to try and eke as much out of that yeast as I can. All right, let's brew some beer. Look at that. Pale yellow with a foamy white head, nice and hazy like a proper German, well, Belgian Witbier. It's exactly what we want, so 10 out of 10 for presentation. Now, let's see how it smells. Yeah, so dominant there, I get citrus. I get that orangey tangerine and lemon perfume jumping out at me, and it's backed up by this floral coriander property. Yeah, well, I'm pretty happy with that. It's not huge, but it's subtle, but it's pretty much bang on what I was hoping for. All right, let's dive in for a taste. Okay, so it's light bodied. It's got, again, that orange and lemon character is dominant. There might be a little hint of that vanilla, but I don't know if I'm just searching for it, but I think it is in there, and I think it plays pretty well. It's definitely not overpowering. I was a bit concerned that adding vanilla, it might be a bit strong and over. You didn't want it coming out like a vanilla stout or vanilla white stout or something. We wanted it to just be a subtle hint, and I think we've achieved that. So I'm pretty happy with what's going on there. There is a little bit of bitterness in the finish, and it's got a bit of a herbal quality. I think that might be to do with the coriander, but maybe something to do with the hops as well. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this, and yeah, I'd make it again. I'd recommend it if you want to give it a go yourself. If you don't like coriander, scale it back, because you can notice the coriander. It does have a noticeable presence. So that'd be my one tip, my takeaway, if you're not that keen on that sort of flavour or fragrance. And if you're interested in non-alcoholic wheat beers, then check out this video in which I make another wheat beer with coriander, a non-alcoholic goza.